Okay, hello and welcome. We're going to go over this problem today. Find the missing elements and return them as a comma separated string of ranges. The array is sorted. We can assume the array is sorted, that the empty array is not possible. No further entry could be other than zero. The first entry could be other than zero, and more than one missing element, and max value will be given as input. So, let's go about understanding this problem first. So the input is an array and a max value, and the output is a string of values listing the missing elements of the array. So let's give an example problem to this. So if we have an input of 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, and we have a maximum value of 12, then the output is going to be, so since we start at 0, we're going to say that the string is going to contain 0 to 2, and so that's the element before 3, and then so between 3 and 4 there's no missing element, between 4 and 5 there's no missing element, between 5 and 8 we have 6 to 7. Between 8 and 10 we have 9, and between 10 and 12 we have 11 to 12. So that's going to be our output rate. So now that we have an understanding of this problem, we can go about matching this problem to a similar problem. Similar problem is the problems involving list manipulation. Maybe oops, and also selection statements. So let's go about implement or planning this problem now. Okay, so we're going to consider the inputs. Input is array and max value, and then we want to consider 0 value and compare that to the first element and add missing values. And then we want to consider I to I plus 1 values and compare these values. Add missing elements. And then we want to consider last value in array compared to the next value and add missing values. Okay, so now that we have a plan for this problem, we can, and then we want to return missing values. Okay, now that we have a plan for this problem, we can go about implementing it. So we can start with if array 0 doesn't equal to 0. Then we can consider adding the string 0 and we'll just say and the length array 0 equals 1. So we just add 0 to the return value. And if array 0 doesn't equal 0, and array 0 is greater than or equal to 2, then we return value. This is an if statement. 0 to 9 array 0. And then for I in range, length array minus 1, and array 0, array I plus 1 minus I, array I equals 1, and we return, and then we continue with array I plus 1 minus array I equals 2. Then we want to return value array I plus 1, and then array I plus 1 minus array I is greater than 2, and we want the return value to be string array I plus 1 plus, no wait, we need to add this comma, but add we need to add a comma to the end of this. So string array I plus 1 minus 1, add a comma to the end, and then if max value minus array with array minus 1 equals 1, return the max value. And then if max value minus array minus 1 is greater than or equal to 2, value is string array minus 1 plus 1 to string max value plus Return. Return value. Value to, we want to delete this comma at off the ends. Sure it is. Valid string text. True value. String max value. Oh, do we pass the test? So that's the solution to this string of missing elements problem. And now we can review this problem. So we can step through this function like so. So we want to print this missing elements function. And so we initialize max value to be 61 and the array to be 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 9, 11, and 60. And the return value is set to be a string. And first element is not 0, and the array 0 is not equal to 1. So we go to the second statement, and then that statement is executed. And so we add to the return value the interval 0 to 4, and then we go into the for loop, and for I equals uh, 0 again. And so for I equals 1 and 0, we look at the difference, and we see that it's not that it is equal to 1, so we continue. And then for I equals 1, we go through and we see that the array I plus 1 minus array I is greater than 2, so 8 minus, so we look in the intervals 6 through 8, and we see that, or maybe it's is equal to 2 actually, so we return the value 7 after we enter the if statement for array I plus 1 minus array I equals 2. Then the next value of I, so it's the second value. So we're comparing 8 and 9 now. And then we see that there's nothing in between 8 and 9, so we continue. And then we go to the third I, and we compare 9 and 11, and we skip both if statements, go to the third if statement, or go to the second, maybe, or we go to the second if statement, and that falls through, so we add the value 10. And then the fourth I value, we compare 11 and 60, and then we see that both of the first if statements are going to be skipped, and then the third if statement is going to be taken, and then we return the range from 12 to 59. And then we go along, and then we add 61 to the end because that's the max value right here. We have the max statements, and the max statement that satisfies the first one and then returns the value of the max 61, and then we return value, which is the string that we created, which is the list of elements that are missing in that array list or array. So we're done, and now we can go back and evaluate this problem. So the evaluation of this problem is time complexity O(n), because we go through one loop over here, the entire array. And then the uh, space complexity is also O(n) because we're going to be creating this string over here, return value, which is of size, just maybe twice the size of array. So that's why it's O(n). Okay, so we're done with this analysis of this problem, the string of missing elements. So thanks for listening.